They say some women are attracted to dangerous men. Robert Happold was a biker and a rebel. But the danger that seemed so exciting in the beginning turned into something much more sinister.
Alicia and my marriage was a marriage made in hell.
I really can't even say that we loved each other. We were addicted to each other.
From the start, Robert had just one rule.
You do as I say, no matter what, or you suffer the consequences.
I was really scared I was going to die.
The only thing holding their marriage together was their drug addiction. When Alicia was 5, a man began sexually abusing her and introduced her to marijuana.
I didn't feel right about what was going on, but they tell you not to tell, and respecting what adults tell me, I didn't tell.
Throughout her childhood, a series of sexual predators abused her.
When I was 13, I started doing the drugs to cover up the pain and the shame.
Robert, too, began using drugs in school, hoping it would make him popular. He soon found his niche, selling drugs to his classmates. When Robert and Alicia married, they went into business together, dealing cocaine and meth. Their vices fueled the fights at home.
When I drank, I was a mean drunk. I turned violent right off the bat. Anything could set me off. Not doing something I said, I started shooting holes in the house. And I was real heavy-handed. I'm ashamed of this. I blackened their eyes. I was a bad person, but it was normal.
So we both carried big guns, and we both had bad tempers. I loved him, but I hated him because I hated being treated like that. I had been treated violently before, but never that violently. And it made me hate him, and I would try to leave, and he would always find me and drag me back, or even if he didn't find me, I always wanted to come back because I felt like that I loved him.
Years of living in terror eventually wore her down.
It's a lot of depression and stress, anxiety. I can remember at times, feeling like I was going to have a heart attack. I knew that it was an anxiety attack. The more I tried to fill that void with drugs and alcohol, whatever we were doing, the bigger that void got, the bigger black hole it got.
Alicia found an unlikely refuge from the violence. Authorities raided their home and arrested them on drug charges. They both ended up in prison.
After I'd been in the jail for about 3 weeks, I woke up one morning and I had a moment of clarity, I guess, finally, a little brain working a little bit, not all drugged out. And I just raised my hands that morning. I said, okay, Lord, I said, you know what? I said, this is no life. I said, I give it up. I give it all over to you. I'm done. Do with me as you please. When Jesus came into my life, that big old black hole right there got filled up with Jesus. And it's overflowing now.
Robert wanted nothing to do with God. But one prison minister wouldn't give up on him.
And every Thursday, this fellow would come back to talk about Jesus. I didn't want to hear it. And he came to me one time and told me that he had a message from God for me. And I'm like, this dude's hearing voices, and he's nuttier than I am. He says, Robert, I have a message from God for you. God is tired of knocking on the door of your heart. If you don't answer him, you're gone, you're lost, you're going to hell. And it still scares me.
That night, Robert had trouble sleeping.
God woke me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was in a tizzy. I was crying. Opened the Bible up. It fell to 2 Corinthians 5:17. Any man be in Christ, he's a new creation. The old is gone. And my question was, what do you want with me? Now, I didn't believe there was a God, but I'm asking, God, what do you want with me? I'm nothing. Look what I've done. Look at the lives I've destroyed and the trouble I've caused. Well, I've put my wife through, my family through, other people's family. And I accepted the Lord right there in that jail. I got saved. The next morning, the world was different. Well, the world wasn't different, but I was different. The hate was gone.
Jesus freed them both from drug addiction. After they were released from prison, God healed and restored their marriage.
I have totally forgiven Robert for everything that has gone on. I've forgiven my abusers for everything. He's never hit me again since we've been out of prison. he hasn't raised his hand to me.
And the only way I can just tell you why I don't beat my wife no more is that the person she married then no longer exists. She went through a lot because of me. She deserved better, but she hung around. And God is the one who turned it around.
I know that he's not that man anymore. He really has set me up on a pedestal. He really does treat me like a little queen.
She's the most precious thing in my life. I don't know what life would be without her.
Today, Alicia and Robert are members of Heaven's Saints. They ride across the country to share the healing and deliverance they found in Jesus.
God's cool. I get to ride my motorcycle. I get to go out and minister to hurting people.
If you got Jesus and you're really dependent on him and you're learning the word and learning how to apply it to your life, you can overcome any kind of temptation.
Through Jesus Christ, anything can be changed. But now I use all that bad stuff to minister to the world. And my story, if it can touch one person and show them that there is hope, that's what Christ is hope.